Welcome everybody. Today we're going to explore how desperate flat earthers have become. Their current excuse for why everything we observe in reality just appears to be a globe is Globevision. They now claim the earth is flat, but we see sunsets, we see the star trails, we see the sun circling around our head in Antarctica, all because we just see like a globe. Now, they've been saying these kind of things for years, but they've been sly about it. They've been discreet about it. They won't come right out and say it, but now they are. The final experiment has pushed them to the edge of their dome, and they finally are just outright saying it. Let's take a look. Now, flat earthers used to say, the sky proves flat earth. Polaris is in the center. Everything circles around it. Polaris never moves. The earth is flat. Now, the smart ones don't say that anymore, though some still will try. So that's mainly because videos like this. We have Southern Star Trail videos. This is Australia looking south towards the ice wall. This is not how stars would act on a flat earth with stars going around the dome. They would be circling east to west, flat across the horizon, because this is the bottom of the dome here. It wouldn't be circling one spot with Sigma Octantis in the center. This is a south celestial pole. So once they stop saying the stars prove that the earth is flat, now they ignore it. Now they just say, we see this way because this is how our eyes work. We have an azimuthal grid of vision. Right? When that nonsense started, that was really the start of Globevision. We all have little globes that follow us around, individual personal globes that make us just see globes wherever we go. Then they used to say, we can zoom things back in from over the horizon. Earth's not a globe. Nothing ever goes over the horizon. Zoom it right back in. They've never been able to demonstrate that. They used to show sunset videos being zoomed back in, but that was before they put solar filters on, and it was just glare. When you have a solar filter on, no glare, there's no zooming that thing back in, ever. So once they realize this, they now claim, oh, this is just perspective. It sets from perspective. It's disappearing bottom up from perspective. Yes, perspective, which makes everything vanish to your eye. Your eye somehow is making an object above your eye converge below your eye, below the horizon. So what they've done is they've taken the concept of perspective, linear perspective, and they've just bastardized it to claim we just see this way. This makes us see a globe. So let's hear a little bit more about Globevision.
By my model, and what happens is as light shines through a medium, we get refraction. That is how the angles of light that the observer is seeing match up to everything there. So what you're looking at right now is a side view of the sun on the firmament, shining through the firmament and refracting out. You can search up this term though, total internal reflection. It's like how a fiber optic cable works. That is why every observer, no matter what part of the firmament they're looking at, even if they're facing behind them, they see the full brightness, the full source of that sun. It's not faint, if that makes sense.
So it doesn't matter where you're looking on flat Earth. Even behind you, you're going to see the sun where it should be according to the globe, due to Globevision. Flat earthers have been pushed to the edge so far, they've moved the goalpost all the way to the globe. They now have to claim flat earth is flat, but it just optically is a globe. Now, this was part of the presentation that Space Audits put up during his debate with MC Toon and Peter Markley the other day. So he tried to put this up as justification that the angle to stars works on flat Earth. Now, this has been gone over a few times the last 2 days, but it's just too good to pass up. So I'm going to do it again. So here's his triangle, his right triangle to the star that he's measuring. He calls this hypotenuse 60 degrees. The length of this hypotenuse he calls 60 degrees. What he meant was this is 60 degrees to the star, the elevation angle, which he writes here. The angle is 60 degrees. Great. What is point 2 here? The second bullet. The hypotenuse distance to the star is 60 degrees. Okay? He denies this later, but it's right here in his own chart. Okay, so then he does the cosine of the 60, which is right. It's the adjacent over the hypotenuse, correct. Gets a half. Perfect. Now this is the cosine ratio. This is the ratio of the adjacent over the hypotenuse, right? So what are we going to do with this information now? Well, he's going to solve for the adjacent side, the base of the triangle, right? Okay, how are you going to do that with only one angle? I don't know. Let's figure it out. So he has the hypotenuse times the cosine. Okay. And then he just plugs in 60 for the hypotenuse, which again is a degree. This is supposed to be a length, not an angle. He just plugged randomly for absolutely no reason 60 degrees into that equation. And then comes out with the adjacent side length being 30 degrees. How does that work? How is a length a degree? It's amazing. So then he just takes the 30 degrees that we calculated incorrectly and multiplies it by 1 degree per 69 miles, which again is globe math. You can't come up with 1 degree per 69 miles on a flat Earth. Now, his excuse for doing this is that, okay, you have a globe that's been transformed into a sphere, into a flat map, the AE map, applying a transform. You take the spherical coordinates, you apply a transform to it, and you get you can transform it into Cartesian coordinates, right? But just because you can transform a coordinate system doesn't mean physically, in reality, they're both equal. That doesn't just mean everything suddenly works on a flat Earth. So again, he's trying to say, I have this flat map, everything can transform from a globe perfectly onto it. Therefore, everything works. We live on this flat map, but we just see Globevision. But this is why it doesn't work in reality. If you were to look at this projection of the globe and look at the scale provided to us, you'll see here at the equator that this is 1,000 miles from here to there, the other side. Here is 0 miles. Yeah, you heard that, right? Which is obvious because this is the pole. This is the South Pole. So it has to be 0. On a globe, it goes from all the longitude lines converging at the top, the North Pole, and they converge again at the South Pole. It's a sphere. So the scale here is completely wrong. This makes no sense in reality. It's just being used to represent the globe on a flat surface. So I pointed this out to Space Audits on the comments in his video, and this is what he replied back to me. It's a little hard to read. I'm going to read it for you. So I wrote all the problems I just discussed with you here. I told him that, and he writes back to me. Okay. His first point was the 60 degree was supposed to be the elevation angle to the star. I just wrote it along the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse was unknown. The only known was the elevation angle. Well, that's interesting because, as I showed you before, he's setting this as a given. The hypotenuse distance to star is 60 degrees. But why right here is he telling me that it's only the elevation angle, not the distance? He doesn't know what he's doing. So I again point that out to him, and he responds with a doozy. He tells me I'm incorrect, and then says his scenario is like you're on the ocean with a sextant. You see a star, you line it up, It's 60 degrees above the horizon. That is all the info you have. The rest is trig, relationship ratios, as an output. Then we use our favorite sphere/circle size to compute how many miles per degree. So let's skip past the fact that he thinks you can solve for a triangle with only one angle. But he's also saying when he was done, he used the globe. He used the globe to get the distance of the base of that triangle. So here's your physical representation of Globevision. The sun is coming in through the dome, the firmament, and just magically appearing for every observer exactly where it has to be in order to represent the globe. Now, what's crazy about all this is you can strap two cameras to a ball and just spin the ball and recreate the northern and southern star trails, spinning in apparent opposite directions, counterclockwise and clockwise. I don't need to invoke magic. I don't need to invoke impossible refraction. I don't need to invoke Globevision. We just see this way because it's physically happening geometrically. Is anybody else embarrassed for these people yet? Now, I've also recreated star trails, equatorial star trails right here in my office. Just spinning a phone using a long exposure. Low-tech, simple recreation of equatorial star trails. Guess what you can't do on your flat map? Recreate this. You have to pretend we just see this way. It's ridiculous. In conclusion, flat earthers now claim the Earth is a globe.
You think the Earth is flat, oh please. Sailing off the world's edge in the breeze. No gravity, no satellite tease. Just believe in your fantasy. Yelling about conspiracies in the night, while we orbit the truth in plain sight. So stubborn, so wrong, it's quite a plight. You believe